Coming up shortly, Ecuadorian teenager Kendry Paez will be at Chelsea training this week to train with the first team. Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen reportedly prefers to move to the Premier League despite being linked with Paris Saint-Germain. According to El Futbolero, Chelsea are considering a shock move to bring former Tottenham striker Harry Kane to Stamford Bridge. More to come, so keep watching. Kindly smash the like, subscribe, and smash the bell icon so you don't miss our daily update. Now in our first news, Ecuadorian wonderkid Kendry Paez will be at Chelsea training this week, Nathan Gissing has revealed on his Twitter. The Ecuador starlet made an appearance at Cobham before Christmas, and even watched a game at Stamford Bridge, but only now will he get to join up with the first team and train with them for the first time. We still have to wait 18 months before the 16-year-old is legally able to make the move to Chelsea officially, but while it's the off-season in Ecuador, he's clearly allowed to train with Chelsea. Pundit Richard Keys has shared why one Chelsea player is really annoying him with his choice of attire recently. He told his blog that he is really not a fan of how Conor Gallagher wears his socks while representing Chelsea. Gallagher has frequently been given the captain's armband on several occasions this season due to injuries to skipper Reece James and his deputy Ben Chilwell. In recent weeks, the England midfielder has put in some of his best performances in a Chelsea shirt, as speculation regarding his future continues to spread. Well, it seems you can't please everyone though, and Keys has now taken issue with how the 24-year-old cuts holes in his socks. He said, "I asked a top medic again today why players cut holes in the back of their socks. He confirmed what I'd previously been told. Apparently some believe the socks are too tight, and they stop the flow of blood to the calf. It's got to stop." This weekend Conor Gallagher resembled the poor lad who plays on Hackney Marshes every week that can't afford kit. You're a professional man, look professional. You don't see Messi or Ronaldo going round looking like they can't afford socks. Perhaps Gallagher believes that players shouldn't wear socks at all. Gallagher will be at Wembley this weekend, the spiritual home of Bobby Moore, the greatest England captain ever to have played the game. Bob never once looked anything but immaculate on a football pitch. I hope Gallagher understands that, like it or not, he's a role model who youngsters emulate and he could learn from Moore's example. I get it that times and fashions change. There's nothing wrong with that. But this trend is a nonsense. Smarten up. 29-year-old Lorient midfielder Tiemoue Bakayoko has opened up on his frosty relationship with Maurizio Sarri while at Chelsea. Tiemoue Bakayoko did not have a great relationship with the Italian at Chelsea. Antonio Conte brought Tiemoue Bakayoko to Chelsea back in 2017 but left the club a year later and was replaced by Maurizio Sarri. According to Bakayoko, who has been speaking to French newspaper L'Equipe, Sarri did not speak to him, which made the midfielder realize he had to leave Stamford Bridge. He joined AC Milan on loan before temporary moves to AS Monaco, Napoli and another loan at the San Siro. In total, Bakayoko spent just one season in Chelsea's first team. The French midfielder has claimed that Sarri did not even talk to him when they were both at Chelsea. Maurizio Sarri arrived with Jorginho, and he didn't speak to me, the Frenchman said. I knew I had to leave. Sometimes I sit on my sofa, think about my career and say to myself, what was the problem? Well, a lot was expected of Bakayoko when he joined Chelsea in 2017. He was part of a Monaco side that were able to end Paris Saint-Germain's dominance of Ligue 1 and make it to the Champions League semi-finals. In the end, though, he failed to deliver at Stamford Bridge and is now back in France playing for Lorient. Former Chelsea and Arsenal star Petr Cech has picked his top 3 goalkeepers of all time, but left himself off of the list. Cech played 333 times for Chelsea, winning 4 Premier League titles, the Champions League, 4 FA Cups and more silverware during a trophy-laden Stamford Bridge career, before moving to London rivals Arsenal in 2015, where he added another FA Cup. The Czech international was a pivotal member of the Blues squad for a number of years, and a key reason why Jose Mourinho's Blues were so hard to score against, given his command of the penalty area, athleticism and intelligence. Cech's greatest night at Chelsea arguably came in the 2011-12 Champions League final, where he starred against Bayern Munich as the Blues lifted the European Cup in the Bundesliga giants' backyard, sealing glory in the Allianz Arena following a dramatic penalty shootout. Despite his reputation and standing, Cech was typically reserved when asked to pick his top 3 keepers of all time, telling Sky Sports, "A tough question, but definitely I'd put Gigi Buffon in there. Definitely Manuel Neuer will be in there. It's always difficult to leave so many great ones out, but Peter Schmeichel will be my choice in there as well. Now Eden Hazard has slammed Cristiano Ronaldo for claiming that the Saudi Pro League is better than League One. Ronaldo has been tooting the Saudi Pro League's horn ever since being lured to the Gulf state in 2022, and controversially asserted that the division was one of the strongest in the world last month. Speaking at the Dubai Globe Soccer Awards back in January, Ronaldo said, "I think the Saudi League is not worse than France's league in my opinion. In France's league you have 2 or 3 teams with a good level. In Saudi now it's more competitive. They can say whatever they want. It's just my opinion and I played there 1 year so I know what I'm talking about. But I think right now we are better than France's league." The former Real Madrid star's claim divided opinion, though Chelsea legend Hazard, who won the League One title with Lille in 2011, knows exactly where he stands. If you look at the league in Saudi Arabia, they have big players, it's just that they're not big teams, Hazard said speaking on the OB1 podcast. In France, maybe now they have less big players, but they have big teams. I'm sure if a League One team played against a Saudi Arabian team, they would win. Maybe not easily, like people might think, but the level in France is good. I'm watching their league and they have talent. Well, Hazard is well positioned to give an opinion about the standard of football in League One. The 33-year-old began his career in France, having joined Lille as a boy in 2005. He made his first team debut in 2007 aged 16, and was named League One's Young Player of the Year in 2008. 2 years later he fired his club to domestic glory, helping Lille win just their 3rd ever League One title. Now to some transfer stories. Chelsea have received a boost in their plans to sign Victor Osimhen. According to journalist Rudy Gallagher, the Nigerian striker prefers to move to the Premier League despite being linked with Paris Saint-Germain. Osimhen has become a wanted man since helping Napoli win the Serie A title last season. The 25-year-old signed a new deal with the Italian club last December but is expected to be on the move this summer. The Blues have identified him as the ideal candidate to address the goal-scoring woes. It was previously believed that the Parisians want the Nigerian as a replacement for Kylian Mbappe, who is likely to join Real Madrid at the end of the season. However, Gallagher reports that the League One champions have identified AC Milan's Rafael Leao as their preferred target for the job. That has opened up the door for the London Giants to take advantage. However, Chelsea will still have to pay a colossal fee for Osimhen, who reportedly has a €130 million release clause in his Napoli contract. Chelsea have set their sights on Evan Ferguson, according to club insider Simon Phillips. The Irish striker exploded into the scenes at Brighton and Hove Albion last season but has endured a difficult time in the current campaign. Ferguson has registered 6 goals and 2 assists from 30 outings across competitions this season, but his stock remains high. The Blues are also among his list of suitors and have been scouting him heavily in recent games. Mauricio Pochettino needs a new striker next season, and has a preference for working with talented young players, so Ferguson could be a suitable option for the role. However, the 19-year-old's contract with the Seagulls runs until 2029, surprising him away from Brighton will be a costly affair. Harry Kane's time at Bayern Munich has gone from bad to worse in the last week. Having lost to Bundesliga title rivals Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern face ducking out of the Champions League in the round of 16 and now find themselves 8 points behind Xabi Alonso's side. Kane is on course for another season without silverware in Germany, and according to El Futbolero, Chelsea are considering a shock move to bring the former Tottenham striker to Stamford Bridge. The report adds that the Blues intend to send an offer to Kane in the summer to seal a sensational return to the Premier League. Kane parted ways with Tottenham Hotspur last summer, ending his 19-year-old long stint at the North London club during which he scored 213 goals in the Premier League and won the Golden Boot on 3 occasions. Since joining Bayern Munich for around £82 million, the 30-year-old has featured in 30 matches, finding the back of the net on 29 occasions, bagging 8 assists. While his numbers on the pitch have been sensational, reports suggest there could be a possibility of an early exit despite penning down a contract until 2027. Now there is so far nothing to the rumours linking Chelsea with Alexander-Arnold, according to Fabrizio Romano. The Swedish sharpshooter, currently nursing yet another injury, is one of Europe's best and most unique strikers when fit and on form. The former Borussia Dortmund wonderkid has notched 10 goals in 17 Premier League outings this term, proving prolific for Eddie Howe's side when available. The problem with Arnold, however, is that he frequently has to deal with fitness issues, and the 24-year-old is currently out with a groin injury. Despite his injury problems, the forward is frequently linked with a move to a bigger side, and Chelsea have once again been said to be eyeing him. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, there is nothing to this speculation as things stand. Despite stories about Chelsea interest and Newcastle needing to sell because of FFP, I honestly have nothing to report about Alexander Isak at this stage, the transfer expert told Court Offside. No contacts, no talks, very quiet situation. So it would be a guess job from me, as I don't have any information on Isak for the summer so far. It's still early, so let's see. Chelsea have joined the race to sign Joshua Zirkzee, according to Italian media. The Dutch striker continues to tear up Serie A, scoring again at the weekend to help Bologna shore up 5th place thanks to a 2-1 win over Lazio. Thiago Motta's surprise packages are enjoying a brilliant season, and Zirkzee's form has been a big reason for their success. The towering centre-forward has notched 9 goals and 4 assists in 24 league outings so far this term and shows no signs of slowing down. This, unsurprisingly, is making the 22-year-old an intriguing option on the transfer market for Europe's elite. Indeed, Arsenal and Man United have both been heavily linked with the Dutchman. The former were recently said to be his keenest Premier League admirers, while the latter's interest still exists but has gone somewhat cold in recent days, with Man United instead shifting their focus onto Bayern wonderkid Mathys Tel. Now, it is asserted that Chelsea have now also begun taking a keen interest in Zirkzee's exploits. That's at least according to Corriere dello Sport, which has added the Blues to the long list of admirers reportedly eyeing the Dutchman. He will reportedly command a fee in the region of 45 to 50 million euros. Now, last weekend, there were reports from Brazil which claimed that Chelsea are interested in signing Pedro from Flamengo. Later on, with claims that the Rio de Janeiro club demand at least 25 million euros for the transfer, it looked unlikely for the Blues to make that investment in a 27-year-old. Now, as journalist Julio Miguel Neto shares his own information on this rumor, he comes up to deny Chelsea's interest. On Twitter, the reporter points out that Pedro's entourage are unaware that the Blues would like to sign him. It's also pointed out that Chelsea are betting on a different type of signing. Firstly, because they like fast and mobile players, which Pedro definitely isn't. Then there's the fact that the oldest player in their squad, apart from Thiago Silva, is 27. So the Flamengo centre-forward doesn't look like the type of investment they'd make. And finally, former Chelsea boss Graham Potter is expected to be high on the list of potential replacements if West Ham decide to sack David Moyes, according to The Telegraph. The newspaper claims Moyes is under massive pressure after a recent run of poor results, which includes a heavy home defeat to Arsenal. Potter has not managed since being sacked by Chelsea last April. The ex-Brighton head coach is highly rated by some at West Ham, with the requirement to play attractive football firmly on the agenda after the safety-first approach adopted by Moyes. However, some may doubt Potter's ability following his time at Stamford Bridge. He lasted only 7 months in the job, but his failure has been put into context somewhat by the struggles that his successors, Frank Lampard and Mauricio Pochettino, have had at Stamford Bridge. The Telegraph believed that ex-Wolves boss Julian Lopetegui and former Nottingham Forest manager Steve Cooper will also come under consideration. They also mention ex-Eintracht Frankfurt coach Oliver Glasner, but the Austrian is widely expected to replace Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace. We appreciate your time and attention. See you again in the next video. Until then, goodbye.